Hello, good morning. First, I want to apologize that I will speak in English, but a presentation of 12 minutes will be difficult for me, even though Kalin and Michaela can verify that I'm speaking and understanding Romanian. Okay, thank you. If you didn't know, some days ago, on the 25th of March, in Greece we have a national day. We celebrate our revolution against the Ottoman Empire in 1821. This was declared in Greece, but what probably you don't know, or probably you know, is that the initiation and the official declaration happened in 24th of February 1821. Do you know where? Here in Iasi. So for me, that I'm Greek is not only an honor, but it is a privilege to be here with you. So, coming back to 2017, in the next 10 minutes, I will try to show you a little bit what we believe that will happen in the future, which is not too far away. 2030 is not actually tomorrow, but let's say that it is the day after tomorrow, because time flies. Before this, for you that you don't know Kilpatrick, Kilpatrick is actually a firm that was initiated in Italy by a Dutch person and two Italians, and it's considered, let's say, a boutique executive search firm. We all know what is executive search. Some people use many years the word headhunting, which is not that literate, but this is what we do. We are very specialized in cross-border assignments because we have fully 15 offices that you will see them in many countries from east to west in the world. So this is what we do, mainly executive search, talent acquisition, assessment center, business intelligence, startup consultancy, organizational development, and background checks. Please keep these background checks that will return in the end of my speech to tell you what is it. This is where we are. Our headquarters is in Switzerland. Mr. Urs Hauerstein can verify why we are in Switzerland, for tax purposes probably. And we have countries, as you see, the most eastern part is in Singapore, having India, Bangladesh inside, and the most western part is in the United States. And lately, 2 months ago, we opened an office in Mexico. Probably we will do executive search for Donald Trump that wants to put walls. We don't know how we will pass from there, but okay. So this is who we are. Now, starting immediately, 2030, a lot of studies and a lot of trends are showing that many of the world's economies will have more working places than people to do them. With this, don't have in mind that we are speaking for every economy or for every position, but there will be a lot of countries that today you will see they are even in an unemployment big number, that they will have a problem in employment in many years, especially for specific positions. For example, in the automotive industry, the last years, a lot of jobs have been replaced. 40% now is electronic, where in the 80s in 10%. And then you will ask me, Sotiris, in the slide before, you just said that in some years, many of the world economies will not have people to occupy jobs. How this happens when a lot of jobs are becoming redundant because of technology? The moment that a lot of jobs are becoming redundant, a lot of other jobs are born to support the technology. For example, in automotive sector, there can be jobs like the cognitive engineer. Have you heard about cognitive engineer? You will hear a lot in the next years. These are very specialized people that they will have to coordinate and do all this special stuff that the automation in the automotive industry is making. In Germany, 20% of the working force will not be found in some years from now, in 2030. Almost 8 million vacant positions in 2030, believe it or not. Even today they have vacant positions. A lot. I will give you only one number. You know, in Greece we have a continuous crisis that will never end, I think. At least in my life, I will not see any other good days in Greece. And I'm serious to this. In the last 4 years, something like 250,000 young people between 25 and 40 have left Greece. We call it the brain drain. They are leaving to find a better future. Almost 30% of them, meaning 40 to 50,000 people, have been to Germany. And they are still absorbing. These are some numbers that you can find also in the internet. This is what we found. So, for example, the blue means that they have unemployment today. So France, for example, is 6%, something like this, unemployment. In 2030, we'll have shortage of 1%. You can see other economies. Spain, 17% unemployment, the second biggest after Greece, that we are the champions. And then it will be even less, and so on and so forth. These are numbers that today we cannot believe. But the day after tomorrow that is coming, more or less will change the whole world of labor. Just to keep the GDP the same in some economies, because they will have less people to work, the GDP will affect it. Just to keep this, there will be a lot of changes. One change will be that will be more women in the workforce. Practically, there will be economies that they will need all the women to work. Or increase the retirement age. Not because they don't have to pay the retirement funds, like in many economies, but because they will need to prolong work in order to occupy jobs to keep the GDP the same. And of course, even today, we are looking about a lot of problems with immigration and all these things. There will be changes for the better for immigration, especially for specialized people. And already in some countries, people that they are specialized have in their favor laws that permit them to go to these countries. So the challenge, like we say in my field, is that the future is in the people that you hire today. Because these are the people that now they are entering into the economy, and they will be the driving force of the future. And if we enter and we see the characteristics of these people versus the characteristic, for example, of my generation, which is the Generation X, that we are the next one to retire in a few years, and you see the millennials, Generation Y, now we have Generation Z, I don't know what generation will come. It's totally different. You can see even differences in shorter age limits. For example, my son, who is 16 years old, with my daughter that is 10 years old, have differences even how they perceive technology and what do they do. The new trend on companies on evaluation, they are not evaluating a lot of things that they used to evaluate, and they create tests and assessments. We do this in Italy now, and we will release it, to measure, for example, the digital literacy of future managers, of managers of today. You understand what is digital literacy, how they can, let's say, adapt themselves and their leadership style, their managerial styles, and their capabilities to the technology that exists today, and moreover in the future. I remember 20 years ago, my father was about to retire in Nestle. We all know Nestle. So that period of time, computers, every manager had to have computers. Of course, my father was 60, and he didn't know even what is a computer, and they teach him to do computers. Now, these are things are given for granted. So, the difference to find the correct talent is what we call, for example, executive search versus recruiting. Recruitment is to find the most available and to hunt the most available people. So I have a position to cover, I will enter probably to LinkedIn, or I will put an ad to eJobs, Best Jobs, and that type of jobs, and I will wait. But these people most of the times are the available ones, and if a person is available for one position, surely he will be available for another position. With this, I do not mean that we do not hunt for these people, but the real thing is to hunt the most talented and the ones that they will be motivated to go to our clients to work for a specific position with specific characteristics. And this is the challenge that clients have to pay when they buy this, that the executive search company will give them the most talented. And this is what is going to be the next years. Needless to say that there are some more frightening trends that they are saying that in the future, let's say 2030 plus, there will be no executive search firms. There will be firms that they will be like agencies to manage good managers and put them into jobs. So, digitally, the digital era, there are no more secrets because it's very easy to find information. Predictability because there are a lot of new tests with sophistication that help companies to predict. Always the importance is to match the culture of the company with the people, but humans, you have to remember that they are totally unpredictable sometimes, and the web that we use is not real life. It's not 1 minute, don't raise it, it's 4 minutes, because I took 3 in the beginning. Okay? So, these are the last 3 things. These are the trends and some motivational factors that we all know, but they will raise a lot in the next few years in order to find jobs, especially in places where people will be needed, a lot. So, like non-managerial level, raising salaries. Who doesn't want a raise in his salary? Promotion, to show trust, behavior and energy to be, let's say, positive, transparency and open doors, work-life balance. If we open this discussion now about companies offering work-life balance, which means that you have everything in the company. You have gym, you have even place to leave your children, you have everything. Why don't they put a bed also for the people to sleep there? So it's debatable, a lot of things. Recognition, coaching, and give purpose for their career. Make them feel that they are, even if they are in an entry level, they are part of something bigger. What they teach in leadership schools, let's say, share the vision. Jack Welch was saying, you have to share the vision really, not to hang it on the wall, so when everybody enters in the morning, say, we like the vision. Okay, as you go up, these are the top 10 motivators for middle managers. And you know, middle management is the backbone of the company, like middle is the backbone of everything. If you don't have it, then you have a problem. Middle class, let's say, for example. Respect, like a competent person from my boss, mutual trust, participation in decision-making that affect my area and not coming parachutes with directions. Enjoy work, opportunity for self-development, feeling that the job is important, upper management awareness of my results, and not walk on a corridor and somebody tell you, are you working here? Ah, really? In which department? Fairness in rewards, full appreciation, and working on special projects on my own. And now we go to the top. You see less with more content. So the economic motivator, which is directly related to money, money in any form, can be money in benefits, can be money in cash, can be money in bonuses, can be money in sort of, let's say, fringe benefits. Theoretical knowledge, a lot of executives like to learn more, so MBAs, PhDs, and all that stuff to send people and pay for them, the company, I mean. Social, which corporate social responsibility, people like to be involved in this because it, you know, it's trendy and sometimes people like to offer into the community. Order and security. Now that we are speaking, security is lower. as you understand, because there are some countries that you can go one day and not find your desk, or find somebody else in your desk. And the aesthetic, which is work-life balance that we said before. These are motivators. This means that people will like to have this. The more they have it, the more engaged they will be. And I'm sure that a lot of colleagues during these 2 days, they will speak to you about engagement. So, recap. What to remember? That A, in 2030, the environment will totally change in some of the world's biggest economies. B, that people will always be unpredictable, but in order to find them, we need to search better than looking rather than the obvious. And number 3, motivational tools and motivational ways for employees in any level will never change. Thank you very much, and I wish you enjoy the seminars, and I'm at your disposal whatever you need for the presentation or to talk to me. Thank you.